The flight from Atlanta to Lima took about 6.5 hours. Now, during this time, I thought, where did God want me to serve him in Peru? Well, it couldn't be Iquitos. It's just too hot there. And the poverty was so severe, I just knew God didn't want me to serve him there. So it had to be Ayacucho or Cusco. Now, I write about this in my book, Miracle in Peru. So when it finally arrived in Lima, I went up to the counter and asked for to buy a ticket to Ayacucho. The woman at the counter said, "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't sell you a ticket there." And I said, "Why not?" She said, "Terrorists have taken over the town." I said, "Okay, sell me a ticket to Cusco." She says, "I'm sorry, senor, but we're in the middle of the tourist season and there are 30 people behind you waiting to buy a ticket." I glanced to my right where a sign said one-half fare to Iquitos. So I left and walked past the one-half fare and entered the storage room. I deposited my luggage there and then stepped outside. I was hungry. Then I noticed that there was a sidewalk cafe to the left. And as I walked down there, I noticed that there was at least one person sitting at every one of those tables. But at the last table, the person sitting there alone seemed to be a gringo. So I walked down there and said to him in English, "Do you mind if I sit here?" He said, "Of course not, mate. Have a seat." Now, he was the funniest looking guy I've ever seen. He stood about 6'4", weighed about 270 pounds, and he had the strangest looking haircut I've ever seen. It looked like somebody had put a bowl over his head and cut his hair with scissors. And I told him about my problem. He says, "Well, I live in Iquitos. I've got an apartment there, and I'll rent you a room until you can buy a ticket to either Ayacucho or Cusco. You can go uptown every day until you can finally find a ticket." And so I thought, I'm not sure if I want to rent a room from this guy. But Mike had such an engaging personality that I said, "Okay." He stood, threw some coins on the table and said,